We're going to go to John chapter 8. So remember, we are in the last 6 months. Is that right? We are in the last 6 months of an earthly walk. Verse 12, chapter 8, Yohanan, in the Complete Jewish Bible. So remember, the last thing he did was write in the dust, right? Okay. So Yeshua, verse 12, Yeshua spoke to them again and he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light which gives life. What did he do like 2 days, a day or two prior to this? Living water, right? Living water, okay? And now light. And he wrote in the sand. I mean, just think of all of these things, all of these signs. So the Prushim, the Pharisees, said to him, now you're testifying on your own behalf. Your testimony. What, you're talking about yourself. You're giving testimony to yourself. And can you not give your own testimony? You can you witness on your own behalf? You can, right? All right. Yeshua answered them, even if I do testify on my own behalf, my testimony is indeed valid, because I know where I came from and where I'm going. But you do not know where I came from or where I'm going. You judge by merely human standards. It was kind of a mic drop moment, but those were my glasses instead. Is it just me, or are you starting to see people and reactions and things and go, they really don't see it? They're really playing up here. Can you see it? You should be able to discern that. You had that moment. She doesn't know what I'm talking about. Right? Didn't you have that moment? She hasn't a clue what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. See, even children can discern. You knew immediately. She doesn't get it. You're judging according to the world. You're buying the world's lie. You're playing the world's game. What is it now? Monkeypox? Oh, mosquitoes. What is it? Zika virus. I mean, what? Yeah. You know, the end of the world is coming. Oh, the ozone layer. Oh, the water is right. Oh, we're going to be out of gas. Oh, there's going to be, whoa, fear. Step back. You guys, it's chaos. And fear-mongering. But you're judging by merely human standards. You're playing the game. You're playing up here. And that's what he's telling him. Get to where it's real. Get to the heart of the matter. Get to the meat of the matter. Lot, send out those men. I want to know, here, have my daughters. How about go away? Do you know who's in my house? Do you know what he's going to do to this place? Not A or B. If the world gives you a choice and says you must make a choice and there's pressure on you, that's the enemy. You don't know. I'm not. Nope. Okay? All right. You judge by merely human standards. As for me, I pass judgment on no one. But if I were indeed to pass judgment, is he right? Yes, he's the righteous judge. My judgment would be valid, because it is not I alone who judge, but I and the one, Echad, who sent me. And even in your Torah, okay, now that cracks me up. What did they just say the day before. He's on the Temple Mount. They brought this woman to him, and they said, in our Torah, Moshe said, and he says to them, and even in your Torah, the one you claim, it is written that the testimony of two people is valid. I myself testify on my own behalf, and so does the Father who sent me. Well, there you go. 1, 2. They said to them, where is this Father of yours? And Yeshua said, you know neither me nor my Father. If you knew me, you would know my Father too. I mean, there's wordplay going on here. There's conversation going on here. There's this back and forth. There's this, he's looking at him like, seriously? Do you ever have conversations like, really? You just, and your heart grieves because you just don't get it. Why don't you? It's right here and you know it. Why don't you know it? You know it, but it, all right. I testify on my own behalf, and so does the Father who sent me. And they said to him, where is this Father of yours? And Yeshua said, you neither know me nor my Father. If you knew me, you would know my Father too. He said these things when he was teaching in the temple treasury room, yet no one arrested him. Why? It wasn't his time. Okay, so let's go back to Abraham this morning. Sarah, my wife. God just told him, Sarah is going to have, you and Sarah are going to have a child. Did he have to say she's my wife? Would they kill him over his wife? Nope. Don't worry. Don't have fear. Okay? If it's not your time, it's not your time. You line up with God. Hide it in your heart. Walk and do what you know to do, right? Act justly. Love mercy. Walk humbly. Children, you can. You are, right? Be bold, right? So again, he told them, I am going away. Why? His time's short, earthly speaking, right? And you will look for me, but you will die in your sin. Yeah, I agree. That should be a whoa, like that. Can you imagine? What happens if you die in your sin? Yeah, that's it. It's too late. Wow. Where I am going, you cannot come. And the Judeans said, is he going to commit suicide? That's like they're unpardonable, right? Because you've taken your own life, you've committed murder, and so if that's your last act, you've died in sin. That's immediately where they go. Okay? Is that what he means when he says, where I am going, you cannot come? But Yeshua said to them, you're from below, and I'm from way up there. I'm from beyond what you can comprehend, right? He says, you are of this world, I am not of this world. And this is why I said to you that you will die in your sins. For if you do not trust that, what? I am. Did we have I am in Genesis? I am. Who I say I am, you will die in your sins. Hold on to it because it's going to get a little bit better here. At this time they said to them, you, who are you? And Yeshua said, just what I've been telling you from the start. There are many things I could say about you, and many judgments I could make. However, the one who sent me is true. So I say in the world only what I've heard from him. In other words, I could say a whole lot of things, but I'm not Ben David right now. I'm Ben Yosef, and I'm going to do and say what my Father sent me to do and say. He's an obedient son. He's an obedient servant. They did not understand what he was talking to them about the Father. So Yeshua said, when you lift up the Son of Man, then you will know that I am who I say I am, and that of myself I do nothing, but say only what the Father has taught me. Okay, I know we haven't gotten there in our children's stories, but do some of you adults remember what was lifted up in the desert? Yeah, I heard it. Snake. It was lifted up. Okay? It was lifted up. The sin was put on the stake. Okay? He's telling him, when I am lifted up, it was the serpent. Okay? Also, the one who sent me is still with me. He did not leave me to myself because I always do what he pleases. Okay, go back. I think last week I read Jeremiah. If you read, it was Jeremiah chapter 17. Part of Jeremiah 17, this is almost a quote. He did not leave me to myself because if you read Jeremiah 17, you did not abandon me. Okay, he's still quoting. All right. It's still fresh in their minds, the things he's just said, even if it was the day before. All right. Many people who heard him say these things trusted in him. So Yeshua said to the Judeans who had trusted him, if you obey what I say, then you are really my Talmudim. Okay, so at this point in time, is any of the New Testament written? Not one word. So, what are they supposed to obey? He came and made the law deeper, didn't he? He didn't say just the letter of the law. Go to the heart. He came to set it straight, to get rid of the superfluous man-made things and to cut to the heart, the motivation. So that's what he's talking about. Okay? If you obey what I say, then you really are my Talmudim, my disciples. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Oh, Abba, may we know the truth, and may the truth set us free. Right? Okay. We say it all the time. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Okay. They answered, we are the seed of Abraham. Now it's going to get really interesting. And have never been slaves to anyone. So what do you mean by saying you will be set free? We're not slaves. Well, Rome is ruling them, but they're not slaves. They're free men and women. They can make their own choices under Rome's rulership. But there's always going to be a government in charge, but you're still free people. You still have free choice, right? Free will. Okay. Yeshua answered them, yes, indeed, I tell you that everyone who practices sin is a slave of sin. What is sin? Disobedience. Yeah, disobedience. What is sin? If you know to do right and you don't do it, that's sin. So if you know what to do and you don't do it, that's sin. So basically when you go, that's sin. Oh, oops. Oops.
Done it a lot of times.
I don't care. That's sin. Oh, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Sin now, repent later.
The Baptist Creed. Sin now, repent later. Well, I could give that. I should. I could go do that for this person. I don't feel like it. I'm not talking to you. None of you. I don't want. Well, why didn't you do this and then I would have that? May we never do that again, Abba. And would you remove all that selfishness and ugliness and darkness from my heart and my mind and my thoughts and my words and my deeds? And may I never, ever again put myself first, because it's ugliness and it's sin. Moving on. I don't know where I was. Where? Thank you. Thank you. Now, after 34, practices of Now, a slave does not remain with a family forever. Why? What did we learn last week about slaves? 7 years. A slave doesn't remain forever, but a son does remain with it forever. So if the son frees you, you will really be free. I know you are the seed of Abraham. See, you already know. Don't tell me you're the seed of Abraham. I know you're the seed of Abraham. All right. Yet you are out to kill me, because what I am saying makes no headway in you. I say what my Father has shown me, and you do what your father has told you. Ooh. They answered him, Our father, didn't he just say? What did he just say? I know you're the seed of Abraham. And what are they saying? Our father is Abraham. Is that like a duh? I just told you that. Right? We are not illegitimate children, they said to him. We have only one Father, God. And Yeshua replied to them, If God were your Father, you would love me, because I came out from the Father, and now I have arrived here. Didn't he tell him, I'm not of this world? I'm not from here. I did not come on my own. He sent me. Why don't you understand what I'm saying? Because you can't bear to listen to my message. You know, it blows me away even today with all the evidence we have of what really happened on October 7th, of all the evidence of what we have that happened with this world COVID and these quote unquote, I'm going to get in trouble for this. I don't care. With these inoculations that are garbage, all the truth we have, and still people, oh, did you get your booster? If I don't have something to say, that's pretty bad. See? I, I don't get that kind of stupidity or idiocy, or I do not comprehend. But that's what he's saying, because you're so comfortable in status quo. You're so comfortable playing up here. You're so comfortable in living in this world that God forbid you should have the scales removed from your eyes and the stoppers from your ears so that you can see and so that you can hear, and the spirit of delusion be removed, and that your heart would comprehend. So when I'm talking to people, Abba, if it's possible, would you remove in my mind, would you remove the spirit of delusion? Would you remove the scales and the stoppers, and would you give them a heart to comprehend? And if you get that, they still don't have a clue, move on. Because you're speaking gibberish to them. They have no clue what you're saying. It's gibberish. It makes no sense. And no desire to know the truth. If God were your Father, 42 again, you would love me because I came out from God. And now I have arrived here, but I didn't come on my own. Why don't you understand what I am saying? Because you can't bear to listen to my message. You belong to your Father. It could say adversary here. Okay? The one contrary to God. And you want to carry out your father's desires. Gratify the flesh. The I want, I hear, right? It leads to sin. From the start, he was a murderer. He has never stood by the truth because there is no truth in him. You know, I tell this one person comes to me constantly with this thing, and I keep saying, you know he's a liar. Why are you listening? Why are you engaging? Why are you having a conversation with him? He's a liar. Everything that comes out, I don't care. There might be one word of truth to 5 that aren't. So you can't have a conversation with a lie. You can't gain truth from a lie. From the start, he was a murderer, and he has never stood by the truth because there is no truth in him. When he tells a lie, he is speaking in character because he is a liar. Indeed, the inventor of the lie. It's the only thing he created. The only thing he made up was the lie. So if a lie is a lie, I'm going to say it's a lie straight from the pit of hell, because that's where he's going to be. All right. But as for me, because I tell the truth, you don't believe me. Which of you can show me where I'm wrong? If I'm telling the truth, why don't you believe me? Isn't that funny? Would you show me where I'm wrong? It's a challenge. Where, basically, okay, minus the New Testament, the Tanakh, where am I wrong? Show me. Show me. Any good teacher is going to say, show me. Not, oh, trust me, it's in there. No, show me. Show me where I'm wrong. If I'm telling the truth, why don't you believe me? Whoever belongs to God listens to what God says. The reason you don't listen is that you don't belong to God. These are the religious leaders. These are the ones who study Torah. These are the teachers. These are the ones who discuss the law. Wow. Have you read about the 7 churches in Revelation? Don't think it's just them. It's us too. The Judeans answered him, aren't we right in saying you're from Shomron and you have a demon? Isn't that funny? Yeshua replied, me? I have no demons. I'm honoring my Father, but you dishonor me. I'm not seeking praise for myself. There is one who is seeking it, and he is the judge. Yes, indeed, I tell you that whoever obeys my teaching will never see what? He's talking physical death? Eternal death. Now they know he's lost his mind. Now they really can't get it because, half of them don't believe in resurrection anyway. Right? The Sanhedrins, right? Sadducees. They're sad, you see, because they don't believe in resurrection. Okay, whatever. And so the Judeans said to him, now we know for sure you have a demon. And this is the good part. Abraham died, and so did the prophets, and yet you say, whoever obeys my teaching will never taste death. Abraham Avinu, Abraham our father, died. You aren't greater than he, are you? And the prophets also died. Who do you think you are? Oh my goodness, really? You're going to ask him who you think you are? Yeshua answered, if I praise myself, my praise counts for nothing. The one who is praising me is my Father, the very one about whom you keep saying he is our God. Now you have not known him, but I do know him. Indeed, if I were to say that I didn't know him, I would be a liar just like you. But I do know him, and I obey his word. Here's the kicker. You ready? This is the one that's going to blow him off the Temple Mount. Abraham, your father, was glad that he would see my day. Then he saw it and was overjoyed. You're not even 50 years old. How have you seen Abraham? He died how many hundreds of years ago? A couple thousand? Why, you're not 50 years old, the Judeans replied. And you've seen Abraham? And Yeshua said to them, yes, indeed. Before Abraham came into being, what? I am. Who met him under the oaks of Mamre? I am. Who told him about Sodom and Gomorrah? Could he not have revealed to him and shown him? Did he not show him the stars and count the stars and sand and the numbers? And did he not have a covenant with Abraham? So is it too far-fetched to think that Abraham saw and knew of his day? He said so. Isn't that what he said? And then he was glad that he would see my day, and then he saw it and was overjoyed. He had a lot of dreams that we don't have necessarily a record of. But he was God's friend. So doesn't it stand to reason? So we either believe this is true or we don't. Does that not prove that God is outside of time? That's the kind of God I want to serve. Yes, indeed, before Abraham came into being, I am. And at this, they picked up stones to throw at him. This is Sukkot, after Sukkot, right? It's not Hanukkah yet. Okay, it's right after Sukkot. They picked up stones to throw at him, but Yeshua was hidden and left the temple grounds.
So would this have been during the days of awe, the 10 days?
No, because you would have had Yom Teruah, Rosh Hashanah, then you would have had Yom Kippur, and then you had Sukkot, and then so timeline. That's good. So timeline Sukkot, they had the 7 days. On the last day, the Rabbah, the great last day, he declared water. I'm the water. Then on the 8th day, they brought in the woman, right? And he wrote in the sand. There's Jeremiah. And then this is either that same day or the next day. He's still on the Temple Mount. It's still the same time period. He's having this conversation. Okay.
They were going to stone him.
Yeah.
Like when the Bible says Yeshua was hidden.
Yeah.
It's not like they had the Secret Service or anything.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not like they had the apostles.
Right.
It's like he disappeared.
It's like they couldn't see him anymore.
I mean, he disappeared.
Yeah.
And God could do anything.
Yeah.
Like one minute he's there, and the other minute he's not.
Yeah.
And the Bible doesn't go into details about that. It leaves it up to us to try to understand. How did we get away from that? Can he do that now? Of course he can do that now.
Of course he can. So what are the possibilities?
People could have walked in front of him. They could have bent down. He could have slowly walked away. He could have just walked through. Their eyes been blinded.
They could have been blinded. How about Philip? Could he have just been transported? I don't think so. I think it would have told us, but it's possible because that happens with Philip. He's just all of a sudden where is he?
And he's not.
Is this the first time that Yeshua has slipped away from a crowd, that they didn't see him and he walked through their midst? No. Nothing's too difficult. Nothing's impossible. So again, now I'm going to tell you children, going back to Abraham and his lie. Don't lie. If it's not your time to be taken prisoner, if it's not your time to die, if it's not your time to be slandered, if it's not, you're not going to be. If you're walking with a right heart with God. That's to all of us children of all ages. Don't have fear. God did not give you fear. Put that one. If you don't have that one memorized, please memorize it. God did not give you a spirit of fear or timidity or anxiousness. Okay? But he gave you power and love and a sound mind. And your sound mind knows if God has good, he has good for me. And he has plans for me. And it's not his will that any should perish. And as long as I'm doing his will, as long as I'm doing what he has commissioned me to do, whether you are fully convinced of that or not. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that's where it was going. It was directed to you. Trust those that are bearing witness over you. See, there's a second witness right here. Okay? If you're an evangelist, dadgummit, you're an evangelist. Do I hear another one?
And you are.
Thank you. 2 witnesses. Trust your elders. Even if it's only by a couple of years. He's not going to allow anything to happen to you that shouldn't happen to you. So children, please learn at your age, earlier than I did. Actually, when I was a child, I had it. Somewhere along the line, I lost it. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. If you've already lost it, get it back. Because as a child, my father would have told you, I was all in. As a child, I was all in. If you lose it, find your way back. And how long does it take you to find your way back? Thank you. How long does it take you to find your way back? You just blew it. Man, it's bad. I mean, it's bad. Devastation everywhere. How long is it going to take you to get back to God? How long does it take? Show me. Show me. Thank you. Come on, show me. Thank you. Here I am. I am such a mess up, but you love me anyway. And you love me knowing I was a mess up. That's it. Okay, stand, please. V'yerecha Adonai v'yishmerecha Yaher Adonai penav lecha vihunecha Yisai Adonai panav alecha v'yesh lemcha shalom. May the Lord bless and keep you, make his face shine upon you, and be gracious unto you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Shabbat shalom.